Tozani Gogo, Tozani Mandabadala. Welcome to the channel, and yes, it's good to be back. I am so happy to be here again and to have you. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. Feel free. This is home. Enjoy yourself. Take a seat. Make yourself comfortable. This is home. And for those who are loyal members, yeah, I celebrate and appreciate you. Thank you very much for being a patron of the channel. Let us grow together, because there is a lot that we need to teach each other. So, Bokoko, without wasting any time, I'd like to get on to it. So, what am I going to be talking about? This is for you to prepare yourself mentally, spiritually, and physically, because it's important for you to do that before you go Ephehlweni. I'm just going to give you a few pointers. So if you're someone who is codependent, please get rid of that. It's not going to do anything for you, because when you go Ephehlweni, you are going to be there on your own without anyone's assistance. It's not like when you go, traditionally when a woman goes to be married to some family, normally they would have imbelesi, which is someone who is kind of like a babysitter. Immediately you walk into the gates of Ephehlweni or Emagulubeni, the place that will become your home for the next couple of months or years. It's no longer years. Don't be scared, but it becomes your home for years. Because for as long as you are linked to that mbande, then it becomes your home, the place where you were initiated. So know that as soon as you walk in there, it's you, your dlozi, and your people. It's that trio. That is your reliance kit. You, your dlozi, your people. Everybody else is a support system. And your immediate support system is your gobela and the people who will be around. Now what you find is that it depends. It goes by mbande to mbande. For some amaphehlo, you will be so isolated that you won't really see many people from outside, but for some, there will be some people who will every once in a while come through, as part of also reminding you that you are part of a community. As much as you are in isolation, you are not alone. And those people, sometimes it will be other gobelas, sometimes with their initiates, sometimes it will be just ordinary people coming in. It will be patients who are coming in for healing. And they are necessary for your journey. At different stages, you will realize that they become necessary to be there. Because as well as part of your training, you need to be able to sense when people are coming. You need to be able to feel when people are coming. Your dlozi, your sixth sense needs to be heightened to the point where you must be able to feel that there is someone coming, And sometimes you will even, through in your body, will even feel their pains and everything. You will sense everything, even their mood. So that is part of your journey. So as soon as you walk into Amagolobe, know that it's you, your dlozi, and your people, because that's your reliance kit. And obviously, the main thing is surrender. You would have totally surrendered already by the time you go in there. Okay, theoretically yes, but practically no. This is a new territory. You are going to struggle. You're going to fight with yourself. You are going to fight with your guides. You are going to fight with your spirit. You are going to fight with so many things. You are going to fight with your gift, because the shifts and changes are going to make you feel so uncomfortable. At times you are going to be so angry. At times you are going to be happy. But I'm not going to lie, most of the time you're going to be anxious, because anxiety is part of the journey. It creates a lot of anxiety in you, which is also when we talk about signs of being spiritually gifted or having a calling, it's one of the signs, ukuba novalo, you know, anxiety. There's general anxiety, there's the anxiety edlozi as well. For instance, when idlozi is coming, you start getting anxious, even me, like when it's about to, you know, you start getting anxious, you can feel in your body that something is happening. So now, the main thing I wanted to talk about is just some things to know when you are preparing yourself, because I cannot overemphasize the importance of preparation, Bogogo. As much as being over-prepared is dangerous as well, because you will have expectations and preconceived ideas about a space that you are going to, that is unfamiliar to you, and you will end up taking those preconceived ideas into that space, and it is going to break you. Those will break you, because now things won't be done the way that we're expecting. Because you've heard Abokoko spam on YouTube saying this is how it's going to happen and all of that. So what I'm going to be talking about today is just basic stuff, general basic stuff that you find mainly across Ephehlweni. So let's talk space. Immediately you walk in there, you are going to be asked or allocated space. This can be in Dumba or whichever space you're going to be allocated, depending on, you know, the abundance of space in the place and which spaces are allocated for amatwasana or initiates. Now, the space, you would be coming from a background of having your own flat, your own villa, your own estate house, and all of a sudden, the only space you have is 1 meter. 1 meter, literally look at the grass mat. That is the sleeping grass mat, the long one. That is as much space as you're going to have. And during the day, the space that you will have is even half a meter, if I can put it that way. Because when your grass mat, your sleeping mat is laid out for you to sleep, then it's as long as it can take up the space. But in the morning you wake up, you fold it, and you put your things neatly, so it becomes kind of like quarter of a meter or half a meter. That's the space. And mostly during the day, you don't really sit and do many. You are moving around. You must always be on the move. You will understand why it's important to be on the move, because you are awakening a spirit that has been sleeping for a century and decades and gazillion whatever. And so it needs to move within you, and you need to move within it. So it's important to be on the move all the time, also to sharpen your instincts, to sharpen idlozi lakho, so that you constantly ready, because now you are a warrior, and warriors are always ready. You know, if I were to use the motto of Girl Guides, it would be prepared all the time. Be prepared for anything. And you are going to be sharing the space. It's communal. There might be other initiates, or you might be on your own, but all the time know that you are going to be sharing the space. And tidiness is important. You don't want to bring up idlozi elingcolile that is not tidy. But as well, if you twasing umnguni, nomzawe, nomsutu perhaps, or malopo, or whatever, umzawe is very tidy. Umzawe does not like izinto ezimdaka. Umzawe uses ihiya elimhlophe. Everything about umzawe is beautiful and quiet and serene. But of course, umzawe spirit, when you then looking at Zimbabwe and all of that, it's totally different. Baze bagidza bemile in some places, but mostly in South Africa, ugidza kneeling on your knees. And so the shared space means that you have to be tidy, but as well, remember, there's something called imfihlo endumbeni. You know, there's a song that whenever I think about it, I always remember Omnyugogo career. It's Zuziphathe kahle mntwana ma, Zuziphathe kahle mntwana ma, ngoba kuyashisa endumbeni, kuyashisa endumbeni, kuyafihlwa endumbeni. So there's imfihlo, they will hide things Of course, as initiates, you don't hide anything for each other, but abokobela, they will hide things to sharpen your sixth sense and your ability to dig out things and bring them to the fore. So you don't leave your shoes lying around, you don't leave your dish in the kitchen table just lying around, you don't leave things all over the place. Everything of yours, you tidy it up, but also it's for training you that this world is cruel. You don't just leave your things around. People can take them and do bad things to them. So it's also to train you about that you must always look after things. It teaches you responsibility and accountability to yourself and to your Josie. And Idlozi as well is very protective of your items. So you also need it to protect you. So part of protecting you is protecting your items. So you need to train yourself to do that. And you use your own things. You don't use other people's dishes. You have everything is new. You have your new dishes. You have your new mahia, your new skotolo for bathing, your bath basin. Everything you use your own things. So you don't use other people's things. So in the space you will find these other bath basins. You don't use those because you are always supposed to be sanctified. And someone who comes from outside, you don't know where they were last night, whether they had sex or anything. So even the stuff that you use for eating, you don't use other people's stuff because you don't know where they were, and they might contaminate you. And and then you will come across as if you are doing sex, or you are not sanctifying yourself. So you have to make sure that your spirit is not contaminated. Also remember, it's about energy, it's about spirit, it's about the aura. So you have to protect your aura all the time. And you don't even leave marks, like you have the red ochre on your hair. It's umani. That thing, you go to pick up something and all of a sudden your head is against the wall and it touches and then it's left there. You better clean it up, otherwise uzokwenzelwa imfihlo. They will hide that thing from you, that mark from you, and you must bring it out. What are they hiding? So you really don't want to put yourself through unnecessary anxiety and all of that. And even your grass mat, you're gonna have two grass mats, the one that you use for sleeping, which is long, and the small one that you carry around so that you can sit and kneel on it. So you're gonna have that, and you must not leave it anywhere otherwise, remember, not everybody as well, Gogo, is happy about you being on your journey. Some people might come into the space as if they are just visiting, even your own family. Kanti baphathiswe something to come and interfere with your journey. So you must make sure that you protect yourself. And wake up very early, very, very early. And you phahla, which is to pray and venerate your ancestors and your guiding spirits. So, and also to connect, because remember, it's like going to the source. Every day you must go to the source and wake yourself up and evoke the spirit within you so that it's always sharp and alert and you are moving and connecting. Hey, guys, I cannot overemphasize the importance of staying focused and within so that you can connect. Don't let any distractions, your phone is the biggest distraction ever. Social media, the biggest distraction ever. Calls from home. There will even be depending where you're going to be training, there might even be an embargo on calls, where you will not really interact so much with people, because some people are going to call you and tell you about someone who has passed away, and that does something to idlozi lakho. So you don't want to be disturbed. So most of the time, calls, yes, you'll have your phone, but some calls might have to go through your gobela, so that they can find the appropriate time and manner to inform you of things. I've had people who were Ephehlweni, they didn't even know that someone passed in their family. In the olden days, it used to be like that. And they will know when they've come back that has happened. And so you will wake up, depending where you are training, uyogidza, amadlozi coming back from emalwandle, because amadlozi ahlala emalwandle, they stay in the ocean, so they will be coming through for the day to come and do what is necessary. So zogita and then bathing. Cold water, so that you can, there's a science in using cold water to awaken you and to connect. Read up on that, it will be valuable. And you work, Itwasana does not move at a slow pace, because if you move at a slow pace, it means Idlozi lakho is going to be slow as well to take. You can't have patients coming to consult and they have to be there the whole day. Your spirit is still searching because you were slow Ephehlweni, so your spirit, as you are connecting, it connected at that slow pace as well with you. No. You must always be fast. You must always be sharp. Everything must come now. Everything. We don't have all day. So all the time you move at speed. And you eating, kneeling. You're gonna kneel, sweetheart. You are going to kneel, Coco. Make peace with that. If you cannot kneel, that is a make or break for some people. I know people who have left Ephehlweni because they could not kneel. Kneeling mokoko, there is a science as well into it in terms of the spirituality, because it shows you surrendering. When you kneel, you fold twice. It's like you bend and kneel, and you are connecting with the earth. You are grounding yourself. So everything, we're building from down up, not up down. So that's why you must go down. You start building the foundation. And eventually you're going to reach a stage where you will no longer be kneeling for everybody, even, for your gobela as time goes by. Because when you twasa, then you become peers. But still you will gobela, you'll kneel to them, but not all the time like when you were itwasana. I still struggle with that because for me, I think I took the kneeling part so seriously, especially to my gobela and other people, that now I still find that I still kneel a lot. I'm still working through that. And no sleeping during the day, because there is a belief that if you sleep during the day, idlozi lakho, then it means you're putting it to sleep. And it's supposed to be awake. It's supposed to be, teaching you things. You're supposed to be connecting. So if you sleep during the day, there is a problem. But for some people, I've found that some people, amatonga abakam during the day. I know I used to struggle with 12 o'clock, which is idlozi time as well, and which is people the time where you go, but I found that 12 o'clock, there just was this idlozi that just loved to come at 12 to come and give me dreams, and I'd be walking around and my eyes are like, I want to sleep. And at some point, you're like, oh, let me just, sometimes without telling yourself, you find yourself good, hey, you just doze off for a second, and then the vision comes. And different strokes for different folks, but during the day, no sleeping. No sex whatsoever. Now, there is something about contact. We all love contact. We all love to be held. We all love hugs. You don't. That's what you do. The contact you have is true sound with people, because you don't know where that person can be. Your sister, it can be your boyfriend or your husband coming to visit you. Ephehlweni. Remember, now Ephehlweni, they are dealing with spirit. There is no you. There is no Andrea. They deal with idlozi. So even how they handle you, personally, you would think that it's harsh how they talk to you, but remember, they're not dealing with you. They are dealing with idlozi, and idlozi is a warrior. And when you speak to a warrior, you speak boldly and bravely. So no sex. You minimize even contact with people, because remember, aura, energy, spirits. Some people, some things attach themselves to them, and when you are Ephehlweni, next thing somebody comes, you hug them, and then you take on those energies, and then you start having struggles within your journey. Obedience, yo! When they say surrender, you must have a childlike mind when usephehlweni. In behavior, you must be like a child. You become so obedient even to a 2-year-old. There you might find some people have children, and whoever you are communicating with, you are not the person, it's the dlozi that is Ephehlweni. So idlozi communicates namanye amadlozi. So everybody that you communicate with, whether it's a 2-year-old, you're not communicating with them, you communicate with their spirit. Your spirit communicates with their spirit. So in terms of obedience, you have to teach yourself to be obedient because it's for your own good. You don't know everything. There is a reason why you go Ephehlweni. There is a reason why you must have a kobela, someone who is a facilitator, who will initiate you through the different processes. And sometimes you will not understand why they say you must do this, but believe you me, they know there is a reason why Amadlozi Ako took you there, because they know that this is the right person to guide you. And there's some food restrictions. You might not eat egg, milk, fatty things, fizzy things, sweets, snacks. Depending, goes pehle. Some you cannot eat pork, you cannot eat fish. So many things that you might not eat. That's why you'll find some people, when basically their skin will even start glowing. You drink water, like my Kobela was always like, Ubaba was always like, drink your 2 liters of water a day. Make sure that you stay hydrated, because even when you gita, you lose a lot of water. So you have to do that. No loitering. You don't just go wherever. However, you always report when you go. Even when you come back, you announce that you are coming back. You don't enter Makulube just walking in. No, you enter ngedlozi, because everything is dlozi associated, is dlozi aligned. So you have to always report where you are going. And you can, even if you go to town, anyway, your dlozi will tell you, the energies, they will force you to come back quick, because people are just going to weight you. You're going to feel heavy, and sometimes you'll even feel anxious, because you're a pure vessel, so you're a pure vessel, so you pick up people's energies. So when you come back, for instance, from town, or even going to the shop, you must not come back after sunset. Everything, you must make sure that time-wise, everything, you mind the time. You don't sit on chairs. You sit on your grass mat, on the floor. You kneel. You don't even sit down to talk to someone. You kneel when you talk to people. Even that, there is a reason why that is done. Remember, on the chairs, even energies are left. People can be sitting and they will leave their energies. So for you, constantly grounding yourself, you constantly ground yourself. Any energy that you would have caught, negative energy, you transfer it to the earth. That is why you're always kneeling. Yeah, you'll wash with cold water, but depending where you are at, some places will allow you to use some warm water sometimes, but it depends. And they will hide things from you. And last but not least, no shortcuts. Do not rely on shortcuts. Don't do any shortcuts, because those shortcuts will follow you. For instance, there are some people who go Ephehlweni and Batwase, and then when they come back, instead of allowing themselves to settle into themselves, they will choose to go Biokendla and get other things to enhance their gifts, because they are using shortcuts. They want shortcuts. They want everything to be speedy, instead of allowing Amadlozi Abo to guide them. So you do not lead the ancestors. They lead you. Your spirit guides must lead the process. If there's any questions or anything you need me to expand on, please do say though in the comments. There are things that I cannot talk about, but I will tell you, because you don't want to overexpose you. This is a sacred journey, and you must go and discover it for yourself. See you in the next video. Stay blessed.